And hello, welcome to the show. It is Sunday, September 20th, 2020. Welcome to the Ram Show. We got some great topics for you today. And for the first time ever, I know the users at home, this is no different, but Zach can actually see what's going on now. So, and it's flipped right for you, right? Okay. Well, the text was backwards, so if the text was backwards. Okay. So, anyway, yeah. So what is this like the first this is like the first time you're probably seeing me in what, at least 2-3 years now? Yeah. I still can't. We obviously still can't see Zach because he refuses to get a webcam. But you know, that would be kind of, well. You'd see yourself in the other half of the picture there. So anyway, but yeah, the room has changed around a little bit since you saw it last, hasn't it? So, well. I had bunk beds, I think, the last time you probably saw it, because you don't watch the stream back. So, that's different. And you can actually see all of our graphics now. So, anyway. But, yeah, if I actually throw something up on the screen, actually, I'm curious to know, well, you could see it in this view, like this, which is probably not huge, is it? Rather than like, see, because we could also go like a full screen too. Oh, not right now. It's not. Now it's full screen. You mean like this view? Oh, I see what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about this view right here, where we do technically have a picture-in-picture. So anyway, yeah, what's on the docket for this week here? Let's see. I gotta hit the right buttons on my end here, so certain things happen when they're supposed to happen. What did you say? Kind of, but not in the way that you think. What are you thinking? Did I not tell you that you were gonna have to? I was like, I told you should create a bot. Did I not tell you that? I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember if it was during the show or if it was after, but I'm pretty sure I told you something about a bot. I know. For sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with all that. Oh, hold on. Okay, hang on. What is going on here? Hold on. I realized before we get too far into the show that people should probably be able to hear you. Hold on. Hey, at least we didn't get... Okay, so this has been a one-sided conversation here. All right. So, for everyone that can hear me, because they can hear the microphone, here's what we got going on. So this... Goodbye. We're gonna go back to my to my wonderful Sony headphones here. And I think I need to change some audio settings around then over here. So I was trying to, Zach, if you're, yeah, I don't think I can hear you, Zach, right now.
I'm not talking right now.
No, I can hear you. Okay, perfect.
Well, I'm talking now, but I wasn't.
Okay, and now we have audio bars for Zach. Perfect. Okay. Well, that was a fail. Okay, so I have these Soundcore Bluetooth headphones, which are actually pretty decent. And I figured, I was like, well, we'll use these. Give them a try for the show. And anyway, I was like, yeah, we'll give these a try for the show. At least I won't be tethered to the... I don't know if they're the most comfortable. These are definitely more comfortable, my over-the-ear ones that I've got on right now. But anyway, I was like...
I would classify those as over-ears, wouldn't you?
That's what I just said, my over-the-ear ones.
You just said they were more comfortable.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
these?
You mean the ones that you're wearing right now?
Oh, yeah.
Over-the-ears?
Yeah, these are... What I'm saying is these ones that I've got on right now, these are
they go around the ear or over the ear?
No, these go over my ear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like around ear. Around ears
like that.
So much
They're falling apart.
Oh, yikes. Yeah. Around ears are my favorite thing.
Oh, man.
The best.
These are... I've had these for a while. I got these when I... back in 2016, because I was going to be in radio at that point, and I needed a good pair of headphones. And so I picked these up. And so that's why... I mean, they still work fine. It's just that the little piece that actually... Like, the little piece of... material that actually covers the cone or whatever you want to call it is just coming off. But other than that, they work perfectly fine. So it's purely cosmetic. Anyway, so I was like, these are obviously wired, and I have a decent amount of cord here, as you can see. So I've got an extender cable that goes from the speakers. So the speakers are plugged into the computer. And then there's a headphone jack on the actual speakers. So I plug the extender cable into that. That runs around the desk and then comes out and is mounted like right on the side of me. So I have a decent amount of space to roam around with. But I was like, it'd be nice to not be tethered to the desk. But I think over the course of the show, these are going to be a way more comfortable thing. I probably would have ended up switching back to them anyway. And apparently, the whole Bluetooth output thing screwed up the whole audio output thing.
Bluetooth audio in Windows seems to do some weird things.
Well, so it was treating the Bluetooth audio as a separate output. And the way I have it set up in OBS couldn't see the desktop audio at that point. And so there was no audio for you.
Very good.
So anyway, now that everyone can hear you, so we were talking about the disastrous NVIDIA launch. I was telling Zach that he should build a bot, and he responded, I don't have any clue how to build a bot.
I don't.
So
I don't know. I really don't know any code, and I'm also not desperate enough for a card.
How did you do in well, obviously you passed it because you had to. But
that was a basic level class. I already know what you're talking about.
I hated the Python class.
I mean,
how did you end up finishing? How did you end up finishing?
Like, as in, how did I score?
Yeah. Like, what was your grade?
I have no idea.
I passed it with like a D or something like that. I barely passed it.
I know I didn't do bad, so I don't know. Whatever. It's really the best I got for you.
I cannot oh, not multiple times. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Look, let's see here.
In any case, I was saying that it would be quite funny if, while so many prospective buyers of NVIDIA cards who just got kind of, got their parades rained on with the crappy launch, it would be quite funny if AMD suddenly rocked up with a great product and all those angry customers went and bought theirs instead.
Yeah, but we both know that's not going to happen.
It could happen. I don't think that AMD will make the best video card. They just won't be able to do that. NVIDIA spends too much money on that for AMD to realistically make the absolute best video card. But it's possible they could make something that would trounce all over the 3080, perhaps. At least in terms of price to performance, maybe. You know, it's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't say. I mean, I don't know what I would rate the odds at. Gosh, I mean, it could be just a coin toss odds almost. Who knows? They haven't really talked much at all about their upcoming products.
I will say no. I don't have the launch in there as a big giant topic. In fact, we'll get into it. It's talking about aspects of it, but not the full aspects of it. No, what I was going to say is I am a horrible programmer, but when it comes to Linux, however, though, at least Fedora, I mean, I'm not that bad. You know,
That's not code though. That's just proficiency with a command line.
Actually, I am proficient with a command line. There is one language that I am decently okay-ish at, which is let's do it this way. Actually, we'll do this one. Maybe. I don't know why that didn't work, but what? There we go. I apparently just can't type. Let's see. There you go. Bash script. I can write Bash script decently-ish okay.
I don't know if I would classify that as a programming language, though. Would you?
Technically is, because it's telling it's running commands. So this piece of Bash script here looks at a file.
Scripts makes you a hacker.
Where did you hear that?
I mean, well, you're in a terminal, so obviously you're a hacker.
This Bash script right here looks at a file, and then when ran will cause the user's password to expire.
How very unfortunate for them.
Well, so what it's for is what is it? What it is for is creating a base user, right? And then or creating a new user and then forcing them to change their password right away, basically. So now, yes, I wouldn't classify this as well, you could classify it partially as a coding language, maybe as MySQL. So I mean, realistically, can you still write MySQL, Zach?
No. No, I don't even think. I mean, we only learned a very basic level of that anyway.
I mean, I did some decent stuff. I
didn't particularly enjoy the database stuff that we did.
I was much better at MySQL than I was at Python, for sure.
I would have considered myself the opposite.
Let's see. So let's use we'll use CompuSale because that is the database that I have built the best. So there are all the tables in it, and then some of these tables combine other things together. I forget what you call, or well, it's creating a view basically. Select What does the star mean? Do you remember, Zach?
No, I don't.
It's a wild card. So it basically just says select everything. Select everything from repairs. There you go. Well, that's the base of it, and then obviously all the different numbers, like the customer row. All you see is like 1, 2, 1, 3, because that is a reference to a primary key in another table. So I can say select everything from customer repairs, and then that actually combines everything together. Of course, I had to build all that, but that's why I say, yeah, MySQL, and then there's a front end to this as well with PHP and all that stuff, which was incredibly confusing for everybody in the class, apparently, besides me, because I had at least seen PHP code before. And so basically everybody asked me for help on it. So anyway.
Very cool. I actually do remember that now that you say it.
Yeah, but if you asked me to write Python code, I can't do it.
I mean, I couldn't either anymore.
So, it's funny. You're supposed to retain the things you learn from school, aren't you?
Well, I mean, maybe it would come back to me quicker than if I had never learned any, but
I'm sure it would.
At this moment in time, I don't know any. Really.
I have to ask.
Besides, I don't retain stuff that I don't do, really.
I have to ask this. So right now, I am currently looking at a couple. I think I've talked about it on the show. I'm exploring different options in terms of how I move forward with my career, right? Mm-hmm. And so one option is to continue with my current employer and go be a store manager for them. The other option is to look at a registered apprenticeship, which has some components of basically you make a commitment to a company and they teach you on the job, but you also have some educational requirements along with that as well through an accredited source like a college or something like that, right? The part that I ask myself, though, is see, the third option would be, do I just do things on my own without a college degree and get certain certifications, things like a CCNA or the CompTIA A+ certification or something like that? Is that enough to go out to an employer? Because here's the thing. If you think about the IT world, think about how much stuff we were even learning in class that was outdated by the time we were even learning it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Certs are important.
But that's the thing. Like, I remember learning about Windows. Our textbook was over the Windows 8 operating system. We had already passed Windows 8, and it was like gone. We were like on Windows 10. It's like, why are we? It's because the material doesn't catch up as fast as the technology moves. But anyway, so, do you necessarily need a formal degree to be successful in the IT world?
Well, it probably depends on a lot of things. I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to I don't want to step on your toes or anything like that. And it's not a knock.
Why would you?
It's not a knock at all. And I want to see what you think, because in terms of technical skills, overall technical skills, look, you have a degree, I don't have a degree. But if we're looking at overall technical skills, which one of us probably has more technical skills?
I don't know.
I would argue me.
Very rude.
I
have no idea.
Well, okay, think about it though. Look at a lot of things I've done. I have, if your boss came to you and asked you to do some structured cabling for a new, I don't know, they're adding an addition, they need you to do some structured cabling. Is that something that, it's not that you can't do it, but who's going to have an easier time with it? Probably
I hate running cable for anything.
See, I love running cable, but that's, there's the question. There is, do you know what type of cable you need to run?
Probably, because it's probably one of two.
Which is what?
Cat 5e or Cat 6.
Okay. And within those, what ratings do you need to run?
I don't know anything about ratings.
See, it depends. You have to know whether or not you can run just regular riser cable, or whether you need to run plenum rated cable. So there's considerations there. And then once you get past that, it's not like it's something you can't look up, but do you remember the correct order for RJ45 end? And remember, there's two standards. I don't remember what the A standard is, but I know what the B standard is, and that's the most commonly used, at least as far as I understand in the United States. But it's the standard I've always used, and it always works for me. So, and that's why I say, like, I think if we look at technical skills, I probably have more rounded technical skills than you necessarily do.
Well, you know what? Actually, I can talk a little bit about that. I think that the biggest hurdle is getting your foot in the door.
I think you're right.
Because, like, seriously, it took me months upon months upon months to get my first job as just a tech, right? But as within a month of losing that job because of COVID, I had a new one.
I think you're right. I think that's probably...
Maybe I was really lucky, but I don't know. I mean, past experience, I guess. I have no idea.
I think... See, and this is where I'm at too. I think some certifications would definitely help. Look, if I had a degree and the background knowledge that I have a lot of it. I have the background experience, basically, on the job, not necessarily on the job, but like real world, like real world experience of actually doing it. And I have something to show for that. I think that makes me maybe or possibly a more valued or valuable candidate.
Hey, you got on the job experience too.
I'm not saying that. And what I'm saying is going into it for the first time. If you're looking at somebody, considering somebody for a job, I have a disadvantage because I don't have a degree. But at the same time, does my real world experience, is that more valuable than necessarily a degree? Because just because you have a degree doesn't necessarily mean that you and that's where my argument is yes, you have the degree, you have
greatly where you're trying to get hired.
Well, I would agree. But what my argument is yes, Zach, you have a degree. I have more technical skills than you probably do.
Realistically speaking, I don't think the degree means a whole lot in IT.
And that's what I wonder.
Versus someone that has experience, I mean, whatever.
And that's what
do you know how to do? That's what I want to know, basically.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not even remotely close to being qualified enough to hire an IT person. So I guess I should shut up. But that's just a tech, okay?
That's the interesting.
That's all I do.
That's the interesting argument that I was kind of making there. Is, does having a formal background help? Yeah, probably. Is it like a deal breaker? A lot of
basically what we should be talking about is the fact that getting hired sucks.
Yeah. Yep. Does
getting hired is awful.
Yeah. But does having that experience, maybe give you more of a foot in the door or not? I don't know.
Definitely. I think it does. Unless it was an absolute fluke that I got my job so quickly. No.
Well, you had something, you had some background to show for it, and I think that makes you a more valuable
yeah, I do.
Valuable candidate. But
before that, I had nothing to show for it, and it hurt because I couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
for a
And that's
while.
what
Well,
I wonder.
could,
I
and
wonder
was
if
working a job that I hated.
I wonder if not having a degree is going to hurt me if I want to go out to the IT world. But I see a lot of jobs these days, a lot of job descriptions, and maybe you saw this too, where they either say degree or equivalent experience.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Actually,
So you never know. But in terms of my skill set, when it comes to the IT world, I still remember bits and pieces of MySQL. I still remember bits and pieces of actually not bits and pieces. I'm decently good with the Linux command line, more specifically in Fedora, but I mean most commands are pretty similar. In networking, I have the background in structured networking and building a simple network. When it comes to routing and switching and things like that, there's a little bit more there involved. And firewall stuff. Firewall stuff. Those are things that I'd like to learn more about. But as an overall skills based set, like I said, I probably have a more broadened skills based set than maybe necessarily you do.
well, actually, I'm gonna counter that with a different point.
Good, go for it. I love this.
As a tier 1 tech at my job, none of those things mean anything to my
This
boss.
is true. This is true.
None of those things mean anything.
This is true.
I mean, it's probably great to know those things, but they don't affect. They really aren't.
It depends. It depends on the job you're applying for too. It depends on the position you're applying for. So you're right.
But if you're just trying to get your foot in the door, I don't know if that kind of stuff really gets you.
I do have to ask though, when you look at IT, because here's the thing: is it's like saying I want to go into broadcast. Okay, what part of broadcast? Or when you say you want to be in music production, what part of music production? When you look at IT, what part of IT? If I had to pick one specific thing that I would probably spend most of my time to focus on, it would be networking. What is it for you?
I don't know, really. I mean, I spend most of my days troubleshooting stupid applications that nurses and medical types use. So, woo.
But that's what I'm saying. I guess if you were, and I'm sure you're perfectly content with where you are right now, but at some point when you look at advancing your career, is there a specific field that you want to be in?
I'm actually very much eager to advance because, I've heard that the tier 2 techs get paid quite a bit more, and I'd like to be one of them.
So what's involved with that? Do you have to have more background knowledge then?
The tier 2s do more on-site visits versus, staying back and answering the phones, which I hate answering the phones so much.
You want to be out in the field.
A lot more than I got paid a lot more. I get paid a lot more than I did in my old job, but I hate answering the phones. People at my current company, they call so much more than they email, and I hate it. I hate phones.
It's a faster response.
It's really not, because all of us are overworked, and the chance of you actually getting an answer is pretty low.
I have to ask you something real quick here. So you have some background in databases, correct?
No, not really at all.
You have enough knowledge to probably get this at least, though. So I had a customer call me yesterday. They had purchased a particular product at another location, and that location has since closed. And that location has been closed for the last couple of years now, right?
Okay.
So they had a product that is supposed to be warranted for like 5 years. And I told these people, I said, unfortunately, unless you purchase that from our ownership group, so the company I work for is a national chain. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. But we are a corporately owned store. And so any other corporately owned store, if you are added into our point of sale system, I can type your phone number or your name or your email address in and I can pull you up. if you go shop at another one of our stores that is owned by a franchise group, the same thing applies. Is if that franchise group owns multiple stores, across those multiple stores that are in that franchise group, they can see everything in that list of things. But outside of those, you can't. So in this particular case, that particular store was owned by a franchise group, which meant that when they were added in as a customer there, they only existed as a customer in that franchise group. I couldn't see it at all. Now the funny thing is, though, is that in terms of sales history, if I have a ticket number, I can put that into the system and see that sales history regardless of where it was. I just can't look people up. So I call our support team, and I've got the information that should be enough for them to go back and hopefully pull the sales history. Here's the interesting thing. My support staff told me that because that store had been closed for at least a couple years, that they couldn't go back and look at the sales history from that far back. What do you mean you can't look at that sales history? It still exists in the database. It has to. What do we just do? We delete it? Because that is a stupid way to handle that.
So what is the question?
The question is, that doesn't sound correct. That is poor database. No
idea.
That is poor database management at that point then. What happens?
I have no idea what large corporations do with their databases, to tell you.
It's not even the fact that it's a large database. It's the fact that it's a database, even a small database. What happens if I delete something from a database? What can happen, deleted? I should ask.
I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at, because my answer is it gets deleted if you delete it.
It does get deleted, but it also breaks things.
Well, it could.
And that's what I'm saying. It could break things. So generally,
maybe this database was designed in such a way that it wouldn't break.
Then it's not a good database at that point. It's not a good database at that point.
I don't know anything about databases, like I said. So.
Because then you have, I
hate databases.
Then you have data redundancy, which is also a bad thing.
It would be a good thing if you want it to be safer.
Data redundancy? Think about this. Think about this. Data redundancy is the theory where you have, look, let's say that I put you in multiple classes, right? Mm-hmm. Let's take a college example, right? Or a college, right? So
the same data stored in multiple places.
Exactly.
Could be a waste of space.
Yes, and what happens if, especially if you're female, what happens if you get married during the time that you're there?
Oh, your name changes, yeah.
And you have to change that in multiple places then if that's the case. And that's why in a database you create a specific table that contains specific pieces of information that are then crossed or have relationships back to other tables. But do you see the issue there is if all of a sudden that person dies and I just delete them out of the system, it's going to break all the other records that are associated with it and all the other tables.
Very fun.
So that's why I was super surprised when the guy told me that they couldn't go back and look at it. I was like, what do you mean you can't go back and look at it? That is a horrible way to design a database.
Maybe he just doesn't know.
Actually, this is the IT guy that I dislike, or that I just, every time I hear him on the phone, I'm just like, goodness gracious. It's not that he doesn't know what he's talking about, I don't think. I think he's actually super knowledgeable. It's just that he is very much one of those people that I think believes that he maybe has, he's a rule follower, I believe. Too much of a rule follower. Like, legitimately to the T. I don't know. Something broke the other day in terms of, we were like putting a customer's like credit card information in or something like that. And we were manually inputting it. And something happened. And so my boss called the IT guy. This particular guy answered the phone and he's like, yeah, excuse me. We generally, what was it? we generally frown upon manually entering people's credit card information in. It's like, dude, you're an IT guy. Just to help me answer my question. I don't need a lecture. So, anyway. All right.
I'd rules lawyer somebody if I didn't like them. I didn't want to help them. Not saying that's what he was doing to you, but I do that if I
No, this
have
guy,
a
like,
specific person who is just bothering me or is, constantly complaining about this, that, and the other, and I'm just like,
Look,
well, technically that's against the rules, so I won't help you.
No.
I think that's funny.
No, this guy's, I think, just a stickler for the rules. Look, do you know what the biggest issue I have when there is a technical problem is?
Nope, I have no idea.
It's not actually the problem. It's not actually the solution to the problem. I don't have a problem figuring out the solution and knowing what the solution is supposed to be. I have a problem with having the access to fix the solution.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that...
Our point of sale system is built in a very unique way where it interfaces with a small program that runs a few services. And so when it comes to the point of sale system in terms of printing a receipt, there are specific options. So we can send it to multiple printers. And so when you select the printer that you want it to go to, let's say it goes to the receipt printer, or we can send it to, we can print out a full invoice copy size. So depending on what you hit, it sends a request to this program running in Windows, or the service that's running in Windows, and then compiles it and then prints it out on the correct printer. Well, something got stuck in the print queue and it wasn't working, and I knew exactly what I needed to do. I just needed to clear the print queue, but I didn't have enough permissions to do it. So here I am calling the IT people, like, look, I know what the issue is. Here's what the issue is. I just can't fix it because I don't have the permissions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a tier 1 tech. I have that all the time.
So, anyway. Yeah. Wonderful. Now that we've BS'd back and forth for like a half an hour, which is more than we normally do, let's actually start the show. Hang on. Well, it's the first time you can't hear the intro, but this is the first time you're seeing it.
That is true.
All right, so let's talk about this. You're aware of a company called Amazon, correct?
Well, they're a company, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're aware that this particular company manufactures a number of products under their own brand name.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know the brand name that shows up on these specifically?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
It's Amazon Basics.
Oh yeah, I have seen those floating around.
In fact, I think maybe the cables that I've got going to. So I upgraded some stuff the other day. I have DisplayPort to DVI cables now. That go to my monitors. And I actually did pick up Amazon Basics ones. So, anyway, maybe I should be concerned. Because Amazon Basics products are going up in flames, Zach!
Awesome.
But it's not enough for Amazon to stop selling them. Look,
Heaven forbid Mr. Bezos not make more money, right?
Look, I don't think my DisplayPort to DVI cables are going to just spontaneously combust.
Are probably not a fire hazard,
but many Amazon Basics products that have been reported as fire hazards are still on sale from on Amazon, according to an extensive investigation done by CNN. Some of the stories about the dangerous products are harrowing. In one, a man went to the hospital after his chair caught fire while he was sleeping. Apparently due to
Chair?
a melted USB cord.
A chair?
Probably a chair with a USB hub built into it. Now, why that exists, I'm not quite sure.
A chair caught fire randomly.
How about this one? There was also an Amazon Basics microwave that caught fire when an 8-year-old heated up a macaroni and cheese cup. That one I can see! A microwave spontaneously combusting. Yeah, I can see that one. One man saw fire coming from an Amazon Basics surge protector while only a single phone charger was plugged into it. And his baby slept in a room nearby.
Why are these all different products? Like, I would not be surprised if one of them was like blowing up, but hey, they're all blowing up. That's, mildly concerning.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Everything that says Amazon Basics on it is just blowing up.
So reports have apparently been piling up for years. CNN counted at least 1,500 reviews since 2016 for more than 70 items that described products exploding, catching on fire, smoking, melting, causing electrical malfunctions, or otherwise posing risks. Look, these products are probably built very cheaply because they are sold cheaply.
What? Shock! I'm absolutely shocked to find out that Amazon would cheap out on something.
Look, there are specific products that you can buy at discounted prices, shall we say. Generic cereal, generic foods. In most cases, they taste pretty much the same and they're fine. Then there are other things, specific commodities, that you don't want to cheap out on, especially electrical things.
I don't like to cheap out on anything that I've had to buy more than one of. It's like if I bought something and I used it a lot and it was cheap and eventually it broke, okay, fine. If I'm thinking of buying another one, it was probably useful enough that I can afford a nicer one.
Here's a good one that I think a lot of people don't consider is batteries are a commodity that you get what you pay for out of them. Have you ever bought like a cheap battery on Amazon? And maybe it worked out really well for you. But
actually, for my Galaxy S5, I had a battery, but it wasn't made by Amazon. I got it on Amazon.
That's what I mean.
It was like $20. I don't know. It might have even been an OEM battery because the phone was pretty old at that point.
Was it
I wouldn't be
decent?
Surprised that it was fine. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
See, it's hit or miss what you're gonna find online sometimes. Sometimes you just get this Chinese garbage crap.
Probably was Chinese garbage crap.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the original OEM battery was still Chinese, crap. It was just less Chinese crap.
A lot of crap that's not crap is also Chinese crap. Like,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
I mean that, like, a lot of the name brands crap is Chinese crap. And it may or may not also be cheap.
So, Amazon has taken down some of the items that customers reported to be dangerous, like the USB cable and surge protector, though many still remain on the site, Santa says. Oh, excuse me. Within the more than 1,500 reviews, or 1,500 reviews, many consumers explicitly called out items as potentially dangerous, using terms such as hazard or fire, or saying the product should be recalled. Around 30 items with 3 or more reviews like this remain for sale on Amazon.com today. At least 11 other products that fit this criteria were no longer for sale at the time of publication here. Some became unavailable after CNN began its reporting, and at least 4 product pages were removed from the retailer site entirely, leaving behind dead URLs known by employees as dog pages. Amazon confirmed that at least 8 of these products have been under investigation, but said the company determined they all met its safety standards.
Maybe their safety standards suck then. I don't know. They met its safety standards? Well, Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good products. If they meet Amazon safety standards, well, yeah, Amazon forces people to work in sweatshops to ship out Amazon Prime crap, like even during the height of COVID. So
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if I would purchase something that was claimed to be a fire hazard, but the Amazon considers to be safe.
Yeah, so despite the many
I don't know about
reported
that.
safety issues, however, Amazon has only ever issued 2 official recalls on Amazon basic products, according to CNN. The Federal Consumer Product Safety Commission, or CPCS, has only received at least 10 reports over 8 years that mention an Amazon Basics product with concerns similar to those in the reviews CNN analyzed. When confronted by CNN, Amazon pointed to specific reasons why certain products met its safety standards, or, in a few cases, how it had removed them after reports. The USB cable apparently met Amazon's standards, but was removed at some point as well. Now I gotta look at this. A man went to the hospital after his chair caught fire while he was sleeping, apparently due to a melted USB cord. I don't quite know. Now, Amazon has come under frequent scrutiny over selling defective products in the past. The Verge counted more than 60 federal lawsuits over product liability toward Amazon in the past decade in a January report.
That doesn't surprise me at all, because Amazon just shovels bucket loads of crap onto the market, and like whatever sticks, and whatever's junk, just get rid of it.
I think that's probably more on the individual sellers themselves, but we're specifically talking about Amazon
themselves
made
do
products.
it too, I bet.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Now, CNN's investigation is worth reading in full. You can find it on The Verge, or a link to it on The Verge, which also included interviews with former Amazon employees discussing the measures taken to test for safety issues in Amazon Basics products. What? Plug it in and unplug it and just make sure it doesn't actually catch on fire? Holy mackerel. Yikes. All right. Let's actually test this out, because now I'm really glad that you actually can see the screen, because I'm going to put this up on screen now. Let's see. We'll go full screen here. There you go, Zach.
Wow.
I think that might be the chair.
Mighty unfortunate chair.
Here's the microwave, it looks like, maybe, or a particular microwave. Oh, look at this. And that's inside of a car.
Why is a microwave in a car?
No, that's not. No. I don't know what this. This must have been like a charging cable or something like that. Style coiled black. Oh, yeah, it looks like a car charger is maybe what that was. There's another microwave there. Here's a surge protector. Couple of them. Holy mackerel. That's pretty bad. Look at that.
Well,
that's like
explosive, indeed. Yes, I would
that's
say.
Almost melted in half. That's bad.
Electrical fires are not to be trifled with.
Here's another little surge protector. Oh, yep. Here's a USB cable. Or that might actually be that's a charging cable. That might actually be a lightning connector on the end of that. But yikes. Goodness gracious. That is, that's not concerning at all. Like, really isn't. Not concerning at all. So, yeah, be careful what you purchase from Amazon. Moving on. Did I
don't know.
lose you?
Whenever I
Oh,
buy any cheap trash off Amazon, I just expect that it's cheap trash.
got it. Let's see here. I'm curious, on your end, how clear was that stuff?
The video quality?
Well,
Whatever.
not
I
the
don't
video
know.
quality, but like, could you actually make out like what I was showing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
quite small, but whatever.
Oh.
That's on me, not you.
Oh, okay, cool. Online proctoring software is invasive, intrusive, and untested, Zach.
Invasive? What? Anti-cheat devices being invasive? I would have never thought anything like that would happen.
ProctorTrack, e-proctoring software, aka the university mandated NannyCam, is something a lot of students have been seeing in their classes this semester. Excuse me. ProctorTrack describes themselves on their website as the only automated online remote proctoring solution that continuously verifies the identity of online test takers while detecting and deterring academic misconduct. It begins by having students take their exam through a ProctorTrack enabled exam link. It will then prompt them to download the ProctorTrack software. ProctorTrack then uses biometric authentication to verify the identity of students, which according to their website requires a face ID and knuckle scan, although the Associated Dean of Arts, Joseph Pewarwar, denies the use of a knuckle scan. Okay.
But so you have to be like permanently providing a facial scan to the software?
I don't know.
That is horrific.
And the knuckle scan is going to be measured against the student's baseline biometric profile, which it stores on file. There are multiple things that are concerning here.
There are very many bad things about this.
First, I have to download the software onto my computer. I don't want that crap on my computer.
Yeah, that's awful.
Uh,
I would never use that garbage.
Next, it keeps track of biometrics, so my face, my ID presumably. I don't feel comfortable putting my ID on, and I would imagine it stores this then. I don't feel comfortable giving my ID to whatever this company is. No, thank you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Knowing how like this whole thing probably works, you probably are required to by the school, and you're screwed if you don't want to do it.
Look, okay, if it was like a school-based ID, I'd be fine with that, but not my actual ID. Heck no. Like my legal
I
ID,
agree with
no.
you.
If it was my school-based one, like I'd be okay with that, right? And then a knuckle scan. The frick is a knuckle scan, Zach?
I don't know.
You're actually like looking at my, like scanning my knuckles? The frick does that do?
I would just cover up the sensor. Whatever. Screw them.
Then I would suppose that it's not going to let you take the exam.
Well, I don't know then. Yeah,
Do you remember when we were in school?
That's really annoying. I hate that.
When we were in school, there was that special lockdown browser. Do you remember that?
Oh, that was so annoying.
I think, okay, so one of the instructors made us use that all the time, and I think the other one, like, had us test it out, and then I think just decided that it was kind of bogus, and I don't think he ever made us use it again.
Yeah. It was really bogus. I hated that thing.
So, ProTracker then monitors the visuals and audio feed from the student's computer through the rest of their exam to make sure they are not doing things like looking away from the computer screen, leaving the room, having someone from outside the room shouting answers to them, or someone else enter their room.
Okay, so wait, let me ask you this. Are you able to are students like doing this on their own computers?
Yeah, presumably at home for distance learning.
Oh my gosh, this is the stupidest thing ever. Bypass this by just running it on a virtual machine.
I was gonna
ask whatever
you.
inputs you want.
I was gonna ask you about that.
You could probably just, with a little bit of know-how, I guarantee you could run this crap on a virtual machine and just give it exactly the inputs that it wants, and then, you know, meanwhile you're tabbed out looking up everything you ever want to know on Google.
Yep, exactly. I thought about that. I was like
seriously, unless this is running on a, you know, like a managed, like district or school managed computer, this is never going to work. I mean, it will work because people don't know how to do that, but anyone with a little computer knowledge will get past it.
I would
Honestly,
argue.
I do that just to spite them. I hate that crap. I hate that kind of garbage. Just like, seriously, what do you think I am? Do you just think everyone's a cheater?
I thought about that though. I was like, if I wanted to get around this, I would run it in a VM, and then look, you just minimize the VM, you open up your Google browser, right, and your actual OS, and you never have to look away from the screen.
You know what? VMs can be suspended too, or paused, or whatever. So if you need to get up, just pause the VM. No problem. Actually, that might cause problems for the phone home functionality of this crap, so I don't know. Maybe not.
Right, because the webcam's going to go down.
Let's say you have a little more know-how. I bet you could figure out a way to essentially pass a constant input to the software.
No, you know what you do?
To essentially like freeze the input.
You know what you do?
Receive from your webcam or whatever is like a fingerprint scanner. I mean,
no, you do some National Treasure magic stuff. Did you ever see National Treasure?
Oh, yeah, I think I did.
Where they record the empty hallway.
Anything?
They
play it back.
Yeah, exactly. They set up a camera in the hallway, and then they record the empty hallway for a decent amount of time, and then they just play that back for the security guards, and override the actual live feed.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what you do. I don't know what kind of tools or
OBS probably.
Well, no, but you have to pass that input to the virtual machine.
I know, OBS. Basically what I'm doing right now for you.
Well, I don't know. Look, it doesn't matter because it would be
recorded ahead of time, right? And then, see, I'm passing my output from OBS.
You can pause the input. That's good enough. Just give it what it wants to hear and then pause it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Or what if you don't have a camera? These are probably managed computers. I'm willing to bet these are managed computers.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Crap on non-managed computers. Are you serious?
I doubt it.
What if you don't have a camera? What if you don't have a biometric scanner? Whatever device this is, you know, a fingerprint scanner, a knuckle scanner, whatever the heck that is.
No, I think it scans.
What if you don't have one of those devices?
I think it does all this stuff through the webcam.
Are they providing webcams?
I don't know.
You don't have them?
I do not know.
If you don't have them? I mean, I really have a hard time believing they're just gonna, you know, give those students the finger.
I don't know. I mean,
well, this is horrible. I'm glad that I am not a student in
what devices don't have.
All I can say is I'm glad I'm not a student in the current year with such like nightmares taking place.
So ProTracker finishes by saying that the data gathered from their monitoring the exams will be sent to their servers before being sent to the instructors for review, after which it will be purged in accordance with the data retention policy to which your institution agreed, according to their website. Still doesn't make me feel any better about it. Of course,
so
this concerns... so of course this threatens many students, particularly with the threat if your computer setup does not meet these specifications. Here we go. Required to run ProTracker, then you should withdraw from this course and speak with an academic advisor for your faculty or college for advice on other courses you could take, posted on some syllabus in different classes. Now, I should also mention that this story is coming from more like Canada-based institutions than it is from the United States. But even still, that is a poor way to go about it. Oh, your computer doesn't, you don't have a webcam, so you can't take this course.
Maybe it's not managed computers. I don't know. If those are not managed computers, you could get past this so easily.
I don't believe they're managed computers.
Oh, that's just so stupid. Like, it's one of those things where it's like the people who want to bypass it can do that anyway, and everyone else has to suffer.
Yeah, so many students.
You know what?
Oh.
It reminds me of DRM. Pirates get past DRM anyway. You know, whether the publisher wants them to or not. Obviously, they don't. And then everyone else who paid for the product still gets to have fun DRM on it. So everyone loses, basically, except the company that made the DRM.
Now, many students voice concerns in regard to this e-proctoring software, and in an interview with Julian Witherspoon, a parent, student, and outreach and event coordinator of the Regina Public Interest Research Group, said she had this to say about the e-proctoring software. My issue is with the university and the university taking away my consent to disagree with this by putting my degree on the line. If cheating is becoming an issue, they need to address why it's an issue. Let's adapt to that. Not buy expensive things to force people to use that are violating the policy. Wait, what? Let's adapt to that. Not buy expensive things to force people to use that are violating and police them like they're in a classroom. The other issue is cost. You're telling me there is nothing else the university could spend this money on. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems fair to me.
Witherspoon was also concerned about how some professors were treating parents who had kids at home. At home, the complication for me is I can't set aside 3 hours to do an exam without looking away from the screen. Just in a 1 hour class, I have had to look away 3 times just to do little things like finding a shoe or stopping the dog barking. When she voiced her concerns to her professor, the response she got was, "It's like any exam. You can't leave the exam room," and she was told to get child care. The heck? Look, these are all...
Just pay. Just pay, idiot.
Wait.
That's what it sounds like to me. Just pay.
Oh.
Just pay. Just spend some money.
This is... We are in...
I think that's stupid.
We are in unprecedented times right now. Things are all goofy. Look, I realize that institutions are trying to figure out the best way to go about these things. But look, we're talking about college age, college students. We trust, it's... I don't know. Have a little trust?
No, that won't work.
I had a particular individual come into our store one day that needed to get his company-owned phone replaced. It was an Apple device. And the particular company that he worked for had management software on it where if you turn the device off, they would turn it back on. They could enable...
If you power off the device, it will turn back on?
Exactly. They could turn the device back on. They can...
Just let the battery run out.
They can turn the cameras on at whenever they want to basically make sure that their staff are doing what they're... If you trust your staff that little, what does that say about your company?
It could be a compliance thing, but it probably isn't because, my employer deals in, lots of HIPAA protected data and such. And the only thing that we have to be able to do to be compliant is to be able to remotely wipe that data off the phone. That's it. So, and that has actually created tons of work for me and all the other techs because, some genius thought it would be a great idea to tell lots of people who didn't know that they could have their work email on their personal phone, that they can do that. And so guess who has to get everything set up for them? Us, all the techs. And so people go, wait, I can have email on my phone? Because they send out an email that says, if you had email on your phone, you'll need to contact, the whoever to get this taken care of, and we'll switch it over for you. And they're like, what? I can have email on my phone? And then, they hit us up and we have to do it. But that means we have to install our stupid management app on their stupid phone. And it's really annoying, especially when you have people like this lady that I worked with last week who, all right, you know what? I'm just going to sum it up with one thing, okay? She had a Samsung phone, and do you want to guess how long it took for me to walk her through getting into the Play Store?
Oh, I don't know. A good hour, half an hour,
15 minutes. 15 minutes to get into the Play Store. 15 minutes to get into the Play Store.
Dude, you're not telling me anything I don't know. I have people like this come in all the time just to ask us tech questions.
Yeah, but you can say, hey, get out your phone. I'll show you. I can't do that. She's calling me. I can't see her screen. I don't know what she's doing.
I had a lady call me one time because she bought some smart bulbs from us and she needed help getting them set up. Here I am trying to walk her through how to get them set up in her Google Home over the phone. I kid you not, I was on the phone with her for like an hour.
I wouldn't have done that. I would never have done that. I would have said, we can't help you with that. I'm sorry. I just don't have the patience for that. I mean, I have a lot of patience for some people, but that lady seriously made me so angry.
No, I get it in your particular case.
But yeah,
where you guys have those compliances. I believe this guy worked for he was.
So here's what I'm saying. Actually,
it was a company that did like appliance repair or something like that.
Our company's compliances are not as strict as that. All we have to do is be able to wipe the data off the phone.
And that's fair.
All we have to do is be able to wipe the company data off the phone. And I tell people that I'm saying, okay, if you don't want like this app, yeah, this looks kind of invasive. Well, it's a HIPAA thing. We have to be able to wipe the company data off the phone if it were lost or stolen or you left the company. That is a requirement, and we will be fined if we don't do that. So whatever, and that's it. But we don't have to be able to turn on your camera at our whim. We don't have to be able to, control the power on your phone. We don't have to be able to do any of that. And not only that, but I mean, being able to control the power on your phone, that amounts to installing a very, very low-level piece of software. That's a little concerning from a security perspective. That software better be airtight.
Look, here's my viewpoint on this. Look, again, I love technology. I think technology is great. I am somebody who employs these practices in particular cases. I manage the entire network for my church. We are on a domain. I specifically have domain policies in place. But it's to lock people out of specific things so that I have less things that I have to worry about. But I'm not installing software that tracks what the employee, what the users are doing, what their search history is. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And even in my own company, right? Let's say, TechV Media is sustainable enough to bring employees on, where we have multiple projects that work on throughout the year.
IT people have better things to do than look at your search history.
I'm not going to. If I trust my employees that little, then I probably need to get rid of them.
Yeah, I hate that. I don't know. We're totally in agreement on everything in this topic.
Yeah. If I trust an employee that little that I have to put software on their phone to be able to turn the webcam on and the microphone on so that I can make sure that they're doing their job, I probably should get rid of that employee.
Well, and you know what else? I read a statistic somewhere that claimed that the average person does about 3 hours of actual work a day at their job. And I was just thinking to myself, I mean, some days that's probably accurate. Now, some days I probably do a lot more than that of actual work, but some days, yeah, I bet I do only do 3 hours of actual work.
So back to this article.
Some days there isn't even that much work to do.
Back to this article here. Weatherspoon says, unfortunately, in a world currently going through a pandemic, and yes, we are currently in the middle of a pandemic, childcare is harder.
What, we are?
Childcare is harder than ever for parents to get, particularly if you live in an
immunocompromised.
Yeah, something like that. Immunocompromised household where they might not feel comfortable handing their children off to someone else in case they come back sick, which is fair. Students are worried about how exams could look with this software, and many are arguing that it isn't allowing students to do what they need in order to be successful. For example, students can't get up to go to grab water or use the washroom in the middle of an exam, something that was allowed in in-person exams and is now being restricted while a person is in their own home.
Do it anyway.
Let's see. In an interview with the associate dean at the Faculty of Arts defended the use of e-proctoring software by saying this. E-proctoring was deemed necessary to keep the integrity of our programs and degrees. A degree from the University of Regina has value because the exams have been held in a proper and vigilant way. Sometimes that requires having to write an exam in a closed book way just to demonstrate knowledge, and this is to make sure some bad apples in the group aren't taking advantage of that. However, he went on to say, we encourage instructors to think of other ways to measure students' learning, and it's up to instructors to decide what measures they would like to use. Not every instructor in every course is using it, he said. The Faculty of Arts was having a survey on who is using this software, but he suspects that less than a quarter of classes are using it. Okay, fair, but even still.
I mean, that just sounds like such a dry, emotionless corporate PR response. Ugh. That response just drips with contempt for the people who said this software sucks.
The problem is you're creating a problem where a problem didn't exist, likely. Or you're creating more of a problem where a problem probably did exist, but, like, realistically. Like, now people are going to try to find a way to get around this.
I would find a way around it just to spite them, just so I can say, screw your trash software. I'm not going to follow its dumb rules.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Do something funny. Just like put something horrible in the background. Like, oh yeah, I'm just taking my exam. Don't mind the Nazi flags in the background. You know, no big deal.
Oh, that's horrible. Anyway.
I hate the Jews, by the way. Sorry, I meant to say I'm ready for the exam.
Goodness. Moving on. Time for Microsoft news this week. Have you ever seen that before? That was actually really quick, but this? Watch the screen.
Oh no.
It actually has its own intro. Or like its own little graphic for it. I've been using that since the beginning of the show for the most part.
Very cool.
So Microsoft is fully detailing the new Xbox Series S console. It's going to be $300, and it's going to arrive on November 10th. Designed to be a more affordable option for 1440p gaming, Microsoft is using the same CPU from the Xbox Series X inside the Series S, running at 3.6 gigahertz. So that's only slightly slower than the 3.8 gigahertz speed of the Zen 2 based CPUs in the Series X. The primary difference between the Series X and S is the GPU, explains Jason Ronald, Microsoft's director of Xbox program management. Okay, cool. What do we got? So the Xbox Series S, 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU at 3.6 gigahertz, an AMD RDNA 2 GPU. What are CUSs? Is that CUDA cores?
Yeah, or CUs, compute unit.
Oh, compute units. So 20 compute units at 1.56 gigahertz, 4 teraflops for GPU power, a custom 7 nanometer enhanced system on a chip, 10 gigs of DDR6 memory, 1440p gaming at 60 frames per second, up to 120 frames per second, a 512 gigabyte PCI Express Gem 4 NVMe SSD, a 1 terabyte expansion card. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be digital only, so no optical drive, it looks like. HDMI 2.1, and yes, $300. Now, in comparison, the Xbox Series S is also an 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU processor. Let's see, 52 compute units for the AMD RDNA GPU at 1.82 gigahertz. Hold on, sorry. Still using the same system on a chip. A little bit more memory at 16 gigs, 4K capable. A 1 terabyte PCI Express Gem 4 NVMe SSD. A terabyte of expansion, does have a optical drive, a Blu-ray one, HDMI 2.0, and that one will run you $499. So $200 more. Is it worth it?
I don't know.
Probably not. Build a desktop, right? Right, Zach? Build a desktop.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Actually, you're probably spending a little bit more.
So the new consoles, the way it's going to go is, I mean, I think that for a time, the new consoles are going to be pretty good price to performance wise. But not forever, because the console cycle is, the consoles refresh a lot less often than PC does.
It's true. Very true. Moving on. There's a little company by the name of EA. You know who EA is, don't you, Zach?
Oh, they're the devil.
Oh, yes, they are. EA responds to fan backlash to in-game ads in UFC 4, Zach.
I saw this. What a nightmare. Imagine paying $60 for a game and then, oh, hey, there's ads in it.
But it's okay when it's Hulu. Because think about it. Hulu does kind of the same thing.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Or you're paying for this, but hey, there's going to be ads in it anyway, because of course there is. Horrible, isn't it?
Didn't EA do something stupidly similar? Or something, I forgot. What did they do in like the Star Wars franchise?
The loot boxes thing. Yeah, that was awful.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, oh wait, isn't EA a Microsoft company?
No, EA's EA.
I thought they had some ties to Microsoft.
They have no ties to Microsoft.
Well, they have a lot of the same business practices apparently as Microsoft. They do not learn, apparently.
No, they don't.
Let's look at Microsoft Bob, right? It had these little assistants in it that would pop up in the corner and be like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" "Yes, I'm sure." "Are you sure that you're sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." "Are you sure that you're sure that you're sure?" "Yes, just open for frick's sake already." Right? That sounds oddly familiar to Windows Vista.
Yeah, EA's the worst.
Anyway, so here's the original story. So EA has sparked a fresh fan backlash after adding in-game ads to UFC 4. Players notice advertisements briefly pop up at the beginning and end of replays in the premium video game, and a clip of this has gone viral on Reddit with over 86,000 upvotes. The clip in question shows a full-screen advert for Amazon TV show The Boys alongside a 4 September 2020 date for the launch of its second season. This
We'll
advert
never watch The Boys because of this crap.
this advert also
Or I'll
displays
never pay for it.
this advert also displays at the end of the replay. The clip also revealed an advert for The Boys on the canvas and a third pop-up during actual gameplay at the bottom of the screen. You gotta be kidding me. What is this? A web browser game? A Facebook game or something like that? These adverts went live just over 2 weeks after UFC 4 came out on the 14th of August 2020, which critics have pointed out means they won't have been picked up by reviewers.
This is a thing they do all the time.
In fact, gamers haven't reported the same in-game adverts in UFC, or gamers have reported the same in-game adverts in UFC 3 as well. Now, while in-game advertising or advertisements are hardly a new thing, and that's true, they're not. And players of free-to-download games and mobile titles are used to watching adverts in order to progress. The UFC community appears united in its disgust at the addition of in-game pop-up advertisement in UFC 4, a full-priced game that's already under the cosh from fans for not turning out as well as many had hoped.
Yeah, you know, it's like anything made by EA is like just not in a good spot these days.
Oh, I
just say that.
I thought you were gonna say at all. I was like, I have SimCity, which is built by EA.
Well, that doesn't mean they're incapable of making a good product. They're just too greedy to make a good product. They ruin otherwise good products. Well, I mean, it's the same all the time. Like, you know, it seems like every year, every 6 months, every whatever, there's a new, like, you know, EA or Activision or Ubisoft or whoever, you know, made some crap that or made some game that may or may not be good that's just shoveled full of like horrible like pay to win systems or cash shops or, you know, skins that you pay for or whatever, right? It's all just a bunch of crap.
So one Redditor said that they wouldn't mind the commercials if it was a free-to-play game, but the full retail price plus being bombarded with advertisements is a real slap in the face. If it was just on the Octagon canvas, that it would actually then it would actually be pretty cool. Or if it was a little trailer in the corner of the screen for 5 seconds. EA
I wouldn't even be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not okay at all. You don't like if you're that. This is the kind of crap that you only deserve to put up with if the game was free. The game was free to play. Okay, fine. You know, they have to make money to pay for it somehow. But imagine paying $60 for a game and find it shoveled full of advertisements when you download it. Or even worse, let's say you watched reviews for a game that you were thinking about getting and then download it only to find out that 2 weeks after launch, they shoveled it full of advertisements. Specifically so that the reviewers would get their reviews out the door before they took a dump on the quality of the product.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
Like, it is so blatantly obvious how like dirty this move is.
Okay, so here's an update. So EA has now removed in-game ads from UFC 4 after fans flooded the company's social channels with complaints. No, really? You had to know this wasn't gonna end well for you.
They never learn. They never learn. They push the envelope like every year. They're like, all right, let's try this horrible idea. And, you know, depending on how many people like complain about it, you know, they'll decide how they're going to play things going forward, I guess. I don't know. It's just awful. It's horrible. Horrible.
You had to... Somebody at...
They knew. I guarantee you that they're not stupid.
Somebody at EA had to know that this was not going to go well.
They knew. They just wanted to know if they could get away with it. They wanted to know if they could get away with it. That's
well, the answer is no. Clearly. I think this didn't turn out well for them when they did it in Star Wars with loot boxes.
That's not what they were doing this time, though.
No, but that was almost just as shady.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They had to know this wasn't gonna go well for them. Anyway, in a statement to Eurogamer, that was also posted on Reddit. EA said earlier this week the team turned on ad placement in EA Sports UFC 4 that appeared during the replay moments in gameplay. This type of advertising inventory is not new to the UFC franchise, though we have typically reserved displaying ads to specific main menu titles or Octagon logo placement. It is abundantly clear from your feedback that integrating ads into the replay and overlay experience is not welcome.
Oh, really?
No, really?
Gee, another like dry corporate rebuttal. Whatever.
The advertisements have been disabled by the team, and we apologize for any disruption to gameplay that players may have experienced. No, you don't. You knew flat out what you were doing.
This is the same company that apologized for the Star Wars fiasco by, claiming that they thought they were making fun surprise mechanics, not gambling. So, what do you expect?
We realize that this should have been communicated with players ahead of time, and that's on us.
They realized that, yes, but they specifically didn't because they knew no one would like it, and they will probably try something similar again in the future, and will probably also not communicate.
Oh, then you're going to love this. You're going to love this. They go on to say, Zach, we want to make sure our players have the best possible experience playing EA Sports UFC 4. So ad integration in the replay and overlay experience will not be reappearing in the future. Thank you for your continued feedback on EA Sports UFC 4.
That means that it won't be reappearing until they're certain that people have forgotten about this incident.
Yeah, because they did the same thing. They integrated this into UFC 3 as well. So, anyway. I just think, how stupid can you be?
I don't even like sports games, but this is just dirty. I mean, honestly, I feel bad for anyone who likes sports games because the people, like the companies that make sports games, I mean, gosh, sports games are full of some of the dirtiest, scummiest tricks in the book. It's bad news. Like, if you like football games, you like basketball games, I mean, gosh, there's like one franchise for each of those games, and it's pretty much a copy paste every year with a roster update. That's what you get. And it's always full of this crap. They're always full of this crap. Not necessarily advertising, but other stupidity that doesn't belong in games. Whatever. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not one of those people, but at the same time, gosh, this is so a load of garbage. Whatever. What do you expect from EA?
For
As I said,
sure.
this is the same company that made in-game gambling and then apologized for it, saying they were thinking they were making surprise mechanics that were fun. So whatever. I don't know.
Is that what they went with?
You remember? It's like some dirtbag executive went in front of some board of important people in the UK claiming that we don't think that loot boxes are gambling. We think they're fun surprise mechanics. There's clips all over YouTube of it. This lady, like, just oozing this crap out of her mouth. Ugh. Like, how can you even say that with a straight face?
Goodness gracious.
Try to find it.
Okay. Moving on. I always do that. Unpin, open this up. Cool.
If you type into YouTube the letters EA space S, the first thing that comes up is EA surprise mechanics.
Let's see. EA.
Here, I will link it for you.
EA surprise mechanics.
EA surprise.
They're not
mechanics.
loot boxes. They're surprise mechanics.
Do you think,
and
so the guy's asking her if
and they're
she
quite
thinks that
ethical.
They are a ethical feature of their game.
Oh
If
my
you think they're
gosh.
an ethical feature.
Oh my goodness gracious.
We don't call them loot boxes, we call them surprise mechanics. Oh my gosh.
What the heck?
I really like this guy that's asking her because he just like I'm I wasn't there, obviously I'm just watching, but I can just feel his stare, just like his stare of contempt for the garbage she is spouting.
All right, Zach. So I'm going to direct your attention to your monitor because I want
I'm
you to
already looking at my monitor, thank you.
I want you to tell me. Here you go.
Well, that one? Okay, yeah, that I know what that is.
What company is that, Zach?
Gateway.
There you go. And guess what?
I know where this is going.
Where's it going?
Gateway is coming back probably very badly, but yeah, kind of. There's
you know what though? No. Hang on. If Gateway executes this correctly, it could actually turn out pretty well for them. I'm speculating here.
Well, I don't think that purchasing OEM systems from a not very reputable Chinese manufacturer and then reselling them with Gateway stickers on them is a great way to go about it. But sure, there's potential, I'll admit.
Well, hang on, let's get into this. So, Gateway, the major PC brand of the 1990s with the iconic cow-spotted logo, is back. Did they actually come in a cow-spotted box?
I don't know, but they have that logo.
I remember that. Well, kind of that is. So Acer now owns the company and has decided to start selling Gateway branded laptops again, exclusively at Walmart. Look, okay, Acer's not a great manufacturer of computers, but they're not a slump.
Remember the Walmart laptop that was like kind of good?
Maybe.
And I remember because at my old job we bought one to try it. It was like $200 and it had like, well, maybe it was a little more than that. I don't remember, but it was super cheap and it seemed, at least. I mean, I don't know what became of it. Like, it certainly wasn't in use for very long before I left the job. But I mean, that thing, like for what it was and for how cheap it was, gosh, I mean, it wasn't a bad laptop, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Walmart's 250
I've actually
laptop.
seen a little bit about these ones, and they don't look very good. I don't know. They look kind of
Walmart.
Let's see. Can I? Yeah, Linus and team did a. Here we go. Oh, price has gone up on this maybe a little bit. If this is the same thing. Oops, hold on. Yeah, if this is the same thing here, the Motile 14-inch performance laptop.
It wasn't the performance one that we bought. It was before.
So maybe
it was before there were any performance quote unquote laptops from them.
Maybe this isn't
like
it.
We just bought a cheapo one to try out and to like give to users who needed to borrow a laptop for a few hours or whatever. That was the whole purpose of it.
I'm not quite sure then. But anyway, as is often the case with Walmart exclusive laptops, the main attraction is the price. On the most affordable end is the Gateway Ultra Thin Series, which will start at, do you know what price it is, Zach?
No idea.
So it's an 11.16-inch laptop with an AMD A4.
Oh, yuck. That's pre-Ryzen, isn't it?
Probably.
That is awful. Don't touch that.
Hold on, though. Hold on. For the price, though.
How much does it cost?
What do you think?
I don't know. If it costs more than $100, I wouldn't buy it.
It does cost more than $100, $180.
Oh, $200. Nope. I would not buy that. Anything that says AMD A whatever on it, yuck. Don't touch that. Ugh.
That's like almost as bad as buying a Celeron
Yeah, those are horrible.
or a Pentium.
AMD's products are a lot better now, but that era was not.
That stuff
their
was
finest
garbage.
hour.
No,
That was
I'm
not
sorry.
Their finest hour.
There is no excuse for that stuff. That stuff is garbage. Like the Celeron and the Pentiums are garbage, but not AMD A4 garbage.
Yep, pretty much.
Anyway, these span up to a 15.6 inch model with a Core i5. Any guesses as to how much that one will cost you?
I have no idea.
$500.
Okay.
There's also a $200 11.6 inch touchscreen 2-in-1 available, powered by an Intel Celeron processor. Okay, so these are all just going to be okay, with the exception of the one with the Core i5. They're basically crap PCs.
Yeah, I read a brief write-up on those, I don't know, the other day, and the writer's conclusion was they look like junk except the highest end one or one of the higher end ones.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the names of them aren't going to be very interesting, but they come in a variety of fun colors,
What?
including
I'm sold.
purple, blue, green, rose gold, as well as black.
I'm sold.
Look,
I'm
if I was forced to pick one of the colors, I'd either go with the blue or the black, probably. On the higher end of is the Gateway Creator Series, two 15.6 inch laptops meant for media editing and gaming. Oh, okay, this will be interesting.
The Walmart gaming laptop, because the Walmart gaming desktop was so good that they had to make another one.
No funky
Remember
colors
that?
on
That thing
these.
was horrible.
I remember that. Yeah. So no funky colors on these. They only come in black, but they do seem to have some decent specs. You can choose the $800.
$800 Walmart laptop. Woohoo!
It comes with a Ryzen 5 4600H.
That's probably not bad.
Low power though, because it's an H series.
That's so.
I
I don't know
would
any of the suffixes on those to tell you the truth. That's probably really bad.
I think the H is what's Intel's low power? Yeah,
low voltage.
I think the H is the same thing. Let's ask Google. Let's see. It is the AMD Ryzen 5 4600H. It is a 6-core, 12-thread processor with a base clock of 3 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.
That's a lot higher than your typical Intel U series.
It's a 45-watt TDP.
Yeah, that's not comparable really to a U suffix on an Intel CPU.
So this actually might not be a horrible chip then. Let's see here. It also comes with an NVIDIA GTX 1650 GPU. Yeah, and that'll cost you $800, Zach.
For that much money, I would expect better. Really?
I would too. If you want to spend $1,000, you can go for a Core i5 and an RTX 2060. That seems like a step down, doesn't it?
No. The 2060 is a significant step up.
The on the graphics side, what about on the processor side though?
How many cores are in that Ryzen again?
Six.
6. That's probably a step down on CPU and a bigger step up on graphics.
You create a little bit of a bottleneck there somewhere.
In games, unlikely.
But it's not. No. It's the Creator Series. Oh, well, okay, for media
So
for
they
media
marketed it
editing
for
and gaming.
too. Editing? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably a fair criticism.
But a Core i5 with an RTX 2060?
Yeah.
I would pair that with like a Core i7 or an i9.
2060, a 2060 is meant to be a mid-range GPU. It's not a high-end GPU, especially not these days with the 30 series coming
That's
like
true.
now.
That's true, but when you consider that the Ryzen 5 series will have a 1650 in it?
Yeah, 1650 is like a budget card right there.
Yeah, when you consider that.
Yeah, that is admittedly a
Now
weird
look,
lineup choice.
Look,
I will
if
admit.
if you wanted to put a Ryzen 5 4600H with the 2060, then I might.
That would make sense, yeah, and then put the i5 with the lower GPU. But no, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know if I put it with the lower GPU. I might put the same GPU in both of them. But $799 for a Ryzen 5 4600H and then a 1650 GPU? I mean, the processor's fine, but on the graphics side, now we're talking like 3 generations. We're like, or not 3, like 2 generations old now. I wouldn't pay $800 for that.
It's 2 generations old.
The 1650, isn't it?
No, now the 1650 is a Turing card. It's 1 generation old.
Oh, I don't know.
That is a really weird naming choice. I don't know why they did that. I have no idea why they did that. There's also the 1660 and the 1660 Ti. I really don't know why they call them 16 instead of just 20 something. But
okay, so that might not be as horrible. I was thinking that card was.
A lot of people probably think that means they're older.
That's what I thought. I thought that card was way older. That's why I was questioning it. So okay, then maybe I'm wrong. I was purely basing that on the fact that I thought that was an old card. So. Let's see. So this puts them a step above the ultra thin series in price, but they're still fairly inexpensive as creator-focused machines go. Depends on what you're using. Oh, they don't have a ton of storage. Or they only. Wow, really? 256 gigabytes of storage each? What are you going to do? Put one game on it? Goodness gracious.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, this is not a great buy, I don't think.
No. Finally, Walmart is also selling 2 Gateway-branded Android tablets, an 8-inch for $69 and a 10-inch for $79. Yeah, those are going to be, an A50 processor. Yeah, those are probably going to be crap. So, anyway. No, this is what I was going to say about the RTX 3080. There's the RTX 3080 Paper Edition eBay scam that's going around right now, where they're putting up pictures of these right now, and then in the item description, condition is new GeForce RTX 3080 Founders Edition Paper Edition. This is not a real GPU. It is a piece of paper with a picture of the NVIDIA RTX 3080 on it for
and the idea
$510.
The idea is that someone will just buy it thinking they got a good deal and not read, and then when they want their money back, the description has the guy covered.
Yep.
Well, you should have read. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, honestly, somebody who buys that is pretty stupid.
Right.
If you see anything that cheap, like what if you found on eBay like a brand new in the box like top tier iPhone for like $800? I mean, how many hundreds of dollars less is that than you would expect it to be? Like, I would be looking, where's the catch? What's broken on it? You know? What's wrong with it, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right there. I'm going to be looking for what's wrong with it. Who wouldn't be looking for what's wrong with it? I don't know.
Yeah. So, anyway.
And even if it's a normal price, I'm going to be reading. What am I getting?
So, Yep. So that's something to be aware of. But anyway. All right. We have rambled on way too long. This show, I think, was like an hour and a half. So with that, I'm going to cut it right here. And I'm out of topics for this week. Thank you for joining us. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Comments down below. Get subscribed to the channel if you haven't done it. Turn on the bell for notifications. All that fun stuff. We will see you next week here on The Ram Show. Bye!